May
Yes, ma'am.
lilinawin lang po dito sa ginagawa pong investigation ngayon po ng Kongreso. Dito po sa procedures po ma'am. Yung po bang council ma'am ay pwede pong magkomento at ano po ang pwedeng mag-ipataw na sanctions if ever outside of the committee ma'am. I mean sa investigation pa. Halimbawa, yung council po nila nagko-komento about the case do sa outside pero hindi po do sa hearing, within the hearing.
Which
Outside po.
council? Which council?
Kung sino man po ma'am doon sa dalawa, kay Harry Roque or kay
You mean the
Cassandra. Oh,
lawyers?
the lawyers po, the lawyers
The lawyers, no?
kay especially kay Cassandra or Leong po ma'am. Na
Meron
nagko-comment.
tayong tinatawag na fair comment doctrine.
Ah,
If the subject matter of your investigation pertains to a public official, binibigyan ka ng mas malawak na leeway. Kasi nga public official kami
apo,
no?
apo.
But if there is an evidence of malice, ang purpose is to discredit already the public official. That is what we call contemptuous action already, no? And I think this is the point of the Honorable Dan Fernandez when he made the manifestation against Attorney Topacio. At I just wish to reiterate, tama yung sinabi ni Congressman Dan. Si Attorney Topacio ay walang monopoly of law. unlike before na wala tayong mga internet research na pwedeng gawin, no? Today, law is very much accessible. You can simply Google it. You can simply research it in lawfield.net. Meron pa tayong mga Chan Robles, di ba? Parang ako nag-advertise dito.
Binabasa ko po
Pero
yan, ma'am.
what I mean to say is, for non-lawyers, madali na pong ma-access ang batas by simply surfing on the internet. You just type the topic that you want to read. Lalabas na po iyan. Kaya I strongly agree dun sa sinabi ni Congressman Dan Fernandez na hindi dapat issue na hindi siya lawyer because Attorney Topacio has no monopoly of law. Anyone can make use of all these legal arguments and provisions so long as it is correct at naka-base dun sa research, no? Kuya Ron?
Paano po ma'am yun pag nagko-komento po ng most of the time negative po doon sa committee parang nagko-komento sila ng negatibo sa mga committee. Ano pong ipapataw ng committee? Kasi ang kinakatwiran ma'am wala naman sila sa Quadcom committee hearing
we can actually cite them for indirect contempt, no? Hindi ko pa to nabasa but I am hearing this from the senior congs that there is such a thing as indirect contempt. Again, balikan ko yung doctrine of fair comment, no? Naintindihan po natin na under the doctrine of fair comment ay you can really have more leeway in making comment against us because we are public officials, no? Unlike private individuals. Kaya lang kapag yung pagko-comment mo is already designed with malice. Ang gusto mo ay i-discredit na ang mga members ng Quadcom. It's like disrespect already to the members of the committee. And since it is done outside, that's what I heard from my colleagues, since it is done outside and not during the Quadcom hearing, it can be considered as an indirect contempt. Kapag daw sa loob ginawa yung disrespect during the hearing, you call it direct contempt. But if you did it outside, we call it indirect contempt.
Ma'am, hanggang saan po ang kapangyarihan ng Kamara, especially po ng Quadcom, dito po sa pagpapataw ng mga sanctions, especially ma'am, they have the defense na sila po ay the right to privacy and the right to self-incrimination, ma'am. Kasi yun palagi po ang nagiging depensa po at madalas nga po ay hindi na umaattend ng hearing dahil yun po ang
Okay, sa lahat po ng ating mga kababayan sa 2nd District, you listen, ha? para ang mga taga second district knowledgeable about self-incrimination and right to privacy. As a matter of fact, 2 beses ko na po ito diniscuss during Quadcom. Remember, the right to self-incrimination is not absolute. The first parameter, applicable lang po ito sa testimonial evidence. Ang hiningi po natin kay Attorney Harry Roque are object evidence or documentary evidence. So how can he invoke the right against self-incrimination? Ang self-incrimination ay ginagamit lamang sa testimonial evidence. If we're asking questions which he believes are incriminatory, we cannot force him to answer because that is a testimonial evidence covered by the right against self-incrimination. But this one, the subject matter of the subpoena duces tecum are documents na nanggaling mismo sa kanya, and he even committed to produce. Kaya hindi po ito saklaw ng tinatawag nating right against self-incrimination. Number 2, assuming that what is involved is a testimonial evidence, may dalawang tanong dyan when we can invoke the right against self-incrimination. First question is, what is the identifiable crime? And second, is there a probability of guilt? Kapag hindi po natin nasagot itong dalawang tanong na ito, ibig sabihin, hindi warranted ang exercise ng self-incrimination. Number 3, self-incrimination cannot be used as a blanket privilege. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng at the start of the investigation, sasabihin mo agad, I invoke my right against self-incrimination. No! Because every question should be examined first. Dapat sa bawat question, i-invoke mo self-incrimination. And you cannot forecast kung anong mga susunod na questions, di ba? Kaya hindi pwede ang blanket privilege. Meaning, in every question, you have to prove first what is the identifiable crime. What is the probability of guilt? And then we go to the second question. What is the identifiable crime? What is the probability of guilt? We go to the third question. What is the identifiable crime? What is the probability of guilt? Bawal ang blanket. It should be invoked for every question which will be propounded to the resource speaker. Now, Kuya Ron, let's go to the right to privacy.
Tatanong ko na rin po, ma'am.
Sa lahat po ng mga taga Batangas, listen. Yes, there's a constitutional guarantee to the right to privacy. Pero pag ang right to the privacy ay bumanggana sa right to information concerning public interest, like the subject matter of the Quadcom hearing, ang sabi po ng Supreme Court, mas mataas ang right to information concerning public interest kaysa sa right to privacy.
Ayun, malinaw po yun.
Ma'am, Kalargang Ron, ito rin kasi ma'am yung nagiging problema rin ma'am naming mga mamamahayag, yung right to privacy ng mga akusado. Just minsan na hindi na ipakikilala lalo na sa mga serious crimes na nangyayari. Hindi napapangalanan kaya hindi nalalaman ng tao na yung isang tao pala minsan nakagawa na ng kasalanang malaki na kahit na siya ay napawalang o nabigyan ng pardon o napawalang sala o nabigyan ng parole. Minsan hindi alam ng isang tao na yung kanyang katabi ay dati pa lang nakagawa ng malaking krimen.
For you to be able to exercise the right to public information concerning public interest, dapat ang issue concerns the national security already. So I am not certain, Kuya Koy, kung doon sa sinasabi mo concerning one accused, you will be able to invoke the right to information against right to privacy. If the crime is a private crime, if a crime does not involve a huge number of people, if the crime does not involve the nation, contrary to what we are investigating already in Quadcom, which involves national security and interest already, the right to privacy will prevail. Pero dun sa Quadcom, the right to public information will prevail over the right to privacy because it concerns national security and interest already. Kung yung sinasabi mo namang kaso, nagbarilan, that is private dun sa bumaril at sa binaril. Kung yung sinasabi mo namang kaso is a case of estafa, nagkalokohan in one transaction, that is a private matter between them, no? But this one, dangerous drugs, EJK, POGO operation, acquisition of land by foreign nationals, these are national interest and security, which the right to public information on public interest must prevail over right to privacy.
Ma'am, another thing po ma'am, dito po sa ginagawa pong investigation, ano po ang nagiging pagkakaiba po ng warrant of arrest na ipinapalabas po ng Kongreso, ni even Senate, sa warrant of arrest na pinapalabas po naman ng Korte?
I wish to submit na itong warrant of arrest po ng Congress is only for the time being na ongoing ang investigation. The moment we terminate the investigation, the warrant of arrest loses also its power and strength. No? Ito pong warrant of arrest na ini-issue ng court, that is, so long as it is standing, it always has the effect and force of the law.
Ayun.
One more thing, dito po sa Congress, hindi pa naman po fugitive ang tawag natin. We are merely exercising our compulsory power na kapag hindi nila sinunod itong subpoena duces tecum or subpoena ad testificandum, as a consequence, the Congress also has a power to issue contempt and detention order. Ito po naman sa court, kapag nag-issue ng warrant of arrest, ibig sabihin, fugitive, wanted, yung subject matter ng warrant of arrest. Although, I understand during the Senate hearing on Alice Go, no, nagkaroon ng heated discussions already on the definition of fugitive. But from my end, Kuya Ron, ang aking understanding talaga, kapag nag-issue ng warrant, the person is a fugitive, no?
Pero can the PNP act on this, ma'am? Or is it only the Congress Sergeant at Arms?
Either the Congress or the Senate can solicit the help of PNP in serving the warrant of arrest, especially if there is a clear defiance already. Ibig sabihin, kung kita mo na talagang nagtatago, they are evading the warrant of arrest, kukunti lang naman itong mga nasa office ng Sergeant at Arms ng Congress at saka ng Senate. So certainly they can solicit the help of the Philippine National Police.
Another thing, ma'am, na nagiging depensa rin po nito mga humaharap po dito sa pagdinig ng Kongreso ay sinasabi po nila, hindi na sila a-attend, ano na lang, kasuhan mo na lang kami. Yun na po ang naging paano po natin ano po yun, na hindi na sila mahikayat na
Actually, Kuya Ron, what we are doing is independent from what the executive officers are doing.
Opo.
As a matter of fact, you have to take note na si Cassie Ong and the rest of the Chinese nationals, I think they included also Miss Baterna, no? May kaso na sila.
Opo.
Na qualified human trafficking and even violation of anti-money laundering. Ibig sabihin, yung ginagawa po naming investigation is separate and distinct from what the executive officers are doing. Let us always remember the separation of power. We are the legislative branch, no?
Opo.
And we're doing this investigation in aid of legislation for us to be able to enhance the law, pass the law, revisit the law, amend the law. Lahat ang endpoint nito, batas, di ba? Because we are legislator. But in the process, para po ma-realize namin anong kulang sa batas, anong batas pa ang kailangan ipasa, we can conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation. We can use the compulsory process to be able to order the production of documents and the testimonial evidence of some resource speaker. No? But at the end of the day, kahit ongoing pa yung investigation namin, the executive can push through kung anong gusto nilang mangyari. No? At yung mga nagsasabing kasuhan na lang sila, this is the discretion of the executive offices. I think they're doing that already. No? Ito sa amin, we can only recommend. Pero at the end of the Quadcom investigation, that will be part of our report. The recommendation kung sinong dapat kasuhan ng criminal case, kung sino dapat i-admin case, kung sino dapat i-civil case, di ba? Anong klaseng mga kaso ang dapat i-file, we can only recommend. But at the end of the day, ang main output namin is legislation.
Apa.
Yung pagpa-file ng kaso, it belongs to the executive. So, if they are telling us na hindi na sila a-attend at sila ay kasuhan na lang, and then we are in the proper position to issue the necessary contempt and detention order because they are disobeying the lawful order of the committee. No? And we are leaving it to the discretion of PAOK, the DOJ, the NBI, and the other executive officers kung sino ang dapat kasuhan at kung ano ang dapat ikaso.
In relation to that matter, ma'am, alam naman po natin na ang Congress and the Senate is in aid of legislation. After all these things, ma'am, na ma-realize po natin and magkaroon po tayo ng mga conclusion, sino po ang pwedeng magkaso dito sa mga taong involved na to? And of course, para for the prosecution kasi hindi ang Congress naman po hindi man prosecuting body sino po ang magkakaso dito sa mga taong to po, ma'am?
The complainant of course will be PAOK, no? That is for POGO. For extrajudicial killing and for dangerous drugs, any private individual can file a case. No, remember this is a public crime, and then the prosecution will be taken care of by the Department of Justice. No, let us take note that these are all public crimes. No, the participation of the private individuals is to be able to provide the necessary testimony, which will satisfy the elements of the crime. But at the end of the day, if you remember, yung mga caption ng kaso. Diba? People of the Philippines versus ganito. No? Ibig sabihin, ang kalaban mo ay ang buong sambayan ng Pilipino. People of the Philippines versus the accused. No? I'm hoping na the PAOK is correctly discharging its responsibility, being the one in charge primarily with respect to the POGO operation. No? Kasi sila itong naka-discover nitong mga POGO, no? Pagdating naman po dito sa extrajudicial killing and what else? Dangerous drugs. I think the witnesses can initiate for the purpose of filing a complaint. We can consider their affidavits for purposes of initiating the complaint. And then once the probable cause is established already by the DOJ, the case will become people of the Philippines versus whoever will be the accused.
And another thing, ma'am, linawin rin po natin yung kaso po ni Harry Roque, no? Kasi nga ang kanyang depensa, it's a family matter, hindi na daw po dapat kalkalin kasi pampamilya. Paano po natin sasagutin po yung kanya pong defense na ganun, ma'am?
If you remember, Kuya Ron, that's the reason why he invoked his right to privacy. I acknowledge that that is a constitutional right to privacy. However, we have to understand that the issues which are being investigated by Quadcom already involves national interest and security. And according to the Supreme Court, between right to public information vis-a-vis the right to privacy, the right to public information must prevail. No? I need to excuse myself for now. No?
Ang ganda ng usapan natin.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating followers and viewers ng ating radio program Larga Batangas 2nd District. Sa lahat po ng ating mga kalarga, most especially yung mga nakasama ko over this weekend since Friday. Salamat po sa patuloy niyong pagtangkilik at pagsuporta sa mahal kong Mayora. Rest assured na patuloy po nating itatayo ang bandila ng taga Batangas dito sa 19 na Kongreso ng Bansa. Larga Batangas 2nd District.